Hello everyone, welcome back to another video, and in today's video I want to talk about a topic that's going through the community a bit like all over the place really, and it's a bit of a wildfire thing that I think needs to be talked about and sort of sorted out. It's a mess, it's a real mess, and this is the whole leak thing about Modern Warfare 2 Remastered and also Black Ops 4. Now, there's a lot of rumours that have been going around since basically January, and all these rumours are like all over the place. Some of them I believe, some of them I really don't. And this is where it comes into the point where the only rumours you should ever believe here are from the big, publishers and that themselves, really. But you can believe other people like Charlie Intel and that because, they're reliable sources and they do get information from reliable sources, yes. However, I want to draw your attention here to the fact that yes, they are reliable and yes, they do get reliable information from sources. However, bear in mind those sources could very well be out of date, as in the information they're giving could have been from a long time ago rather than the time period that, we're actually hearing it right at this very moment in time. So you've got to bear this in mind, and the fact that it's not really accurate anymore, some of it. And this is what I really have to say in regards to all these leaks. I feel like a few of these leaks really are just here at the moment to basically make Call of Duty look terrible this year. That's what they feel like, and it certainly is coming across that way to me. I mean, we've got all sorts of things from like Black Ops 4 not having a campaign, Modern Warfare 2 not having multiplayer, Black Ops 4's multiplayer being like Overwatch. The list goes on and on and on. And all of these things, I feel like they're just sort of there to basically hurt the reputation that will probably be a brilliant game of, Black Ops 4 this year, and also not to mention a really, really classical, amazing game, Modern Warfare 2, being destroyed on its remaster release. I just don't know if I really believe a lot of these things that have come out, because it just seems a bit far-fetched. And in particular, I have to say that this one in particular, anyway, from Modern Warfare 2 Remastered, really gets me every time. And that's the fact that it wouldn't have any multiplayer on release. Okay, right, now, I know that Charlie Intel and that reported this, fair enough. I'm sure they got their information from a reasonably reliable source. But when did that source get this information? And also, how do you know that source is even correct in this case? It seems like a stupid thing for Activision, let alone whoever is making Modern Warfare 2 Remastered, which everyone believes is Bionox. Why would they release one of the most popular Call of Duty games to release, pretty much, without the most iconic thing that made it what it was in particular, and that was its multiplayer? Modern Warfare 2's multiplayer, you must understand, and I'm sure a lot of you know, is like the pinnacle, really, of Call of Duty's multiplayers ever. It's probably the most loved multiplayer in Call of Duty history. I'm not sure if there are any others that have actually been any more popular, but the point is here, why would Activision and that then release a remaster of this game without the thing that basically guarantees it to be, making money? They're not going to make a lot of money if they only sell this game with a campaign remastered. Yes, there are people like me who love the campaigns and will happily play them, but if you don't have the aspect that really is attracting a lot of your fan base, and bear in mind, a lot of the old fans like me who want to play Modern Warfare 2 Remastered want to play it with not just the campaign, but, for its multiplayer and stuff. Why, if you don't put that into the game, of course nobody's going to, want to play it or even look at it. It makes no sense from any marketing point of view for them to do this. They know that they would lose out a lot of money if they did that, so why on earth would they do that? It doesn't make any sense. I'm sorry, but I can't believe that one. And also the fact that, yes, I know it was a placeholder, probably date of the 30th of April, whatever, that it was meant to release, but Also, that in itself, yeah, I didn't really expect it to release on the 30th of April. Obviously, we're past that now, and it still isn't out, so there you go, there's your proof. But I really didn't expect that anyway. It's very early for a Call of Duty game to just release that early. Possibly in the summer, I suppose, it might come out, but that early on in the year, just when World War Two is having its DLC season come out, I don't know about that. It doesn't fit. It's gonna hurt the Call of Duty they have right now. Actually, carrying on with its season and making its money if they released a remaster of one of the most popular Call of Duty games today. It's going to completely, pretty much destroy World War II's DLC season, and that's like literally a fact. I bet you right now, if I did a poll and asked people, what would you rather play, Modern Warfare 2 Remastered if it came out, like, I don't know, in May, or World War II's DLC season, everyone's going to pretty much vote for Modern Warfare 2. It's just a fact. It's that iconic and everyone loves it that much that everyone's going to go straight for that. It's just the way it works. But there you go. And that's why I didn't see it coming out that early. I can see it coming out in the summer possibly, but at the same time, I almost feel like that's a bit of an iffy one too. I feel like it will probably come out with Black Ops 4, like everyone in the past was sort of thinking. Maybe it might come out just before Black Ops 4 comes out. I'm not sure. But it would make sense that that was the case. Now, I wanted to quickly touch on something else here in regards to Modern Warfare 2 Remastered, then we're going to move on to Black Ops 4. Okay, so everyone obviously was complaining about the fact that, it won't have any multiplayer and stuff like that. Cool, right, I've already gone over all that. This is the only thing I wanted to add here. If we remember back with Infinite Warfare, when we got Modern Warfare Remastered, people on the PS4 got to play Modern Warfare Remastered a month early. And this was before Infinite Warfare had even come out at that point, so you couldn't play that. And the way they did it, to make it fair for the Xbox and PC users, is that you got to play the campaign of Modern Warfare Remastered on the PS4 a month early, but you couldn't access the multiplayer section at all until it released with Infinite Warfare with every other console on the release date. Now that, if you remember that back in the day, was a great way of doing it. Especially as obviously, PlayStation has the whole exclusivity deal at the moment and probably will keep it for a while. This is why it makes more sense to me that they're going to do that sort of thing probably again with Modern Warfare 2 Remastered, which is why I said that it might release like a month or so earlier before Black Ops 4. And then everyone will get access to its multiplayer either with Black Ops 4, which actually would be a little bit risky, but it could happen, or they'll get access to it with the game a month early, and then Black Ops 4 comes out the next month, and you get two things uniquely new at the same time. That would be good, and I hope that something like that is the case. Although if it does not have multiplayer, then I know a lot of people will not be happy, but again, I still don't think that's going to happen. Also, what's interesting is all these people going on about these leaks of, Modern Warfare 2 Remastered not having a multiplayer. They have talked about it having a campaign, but at no point does anyone even mention Spec Ops. Now, granted, a lot of people probably don't care much about Spec Ops, fair enough. I actually quite enjoyed Spec Ops back in the day. I thought it was a good challenge, a bit of fun to have extra bits of the game just to do, instead of playing normal multiplayer and stuff. But it seems a little odd that everyone says that Modern Warfare 2 Remastered will have a campaign. It won't have multiplayer, but at no point does anyone anywhere mention about the Spec Ops part, and that to me seems a little suspicious, strange, odd, fishy, and I can't imagine Activision wanting to release it without the campaign, the multiplayer, and the Spec Ops. I really can't, because then it wouldn't be the original game. And if you remember, some of you might not, but back in like, God, I think it was just before Modern Warfare Remastered came out with Infinite Warfare. Activision said that if they did remastered games, they want to do them right, which means that they want to do them exactly as they were, but make them look even better and probably add a bit of extra stuff into the games. You know, that's what that means to pretty much everyone, I think, at that point. And they did that when Modern Warfare Remastered. They had the original game as it was, and they updated it in incredible ways, I might add. And, you know, they added a bit more to the multiplayer. Yes, of course, there were the loot boxes. Everyone hates that, including me. But, you know, you aren't going to get away from that. So there it is. But that is also another arguing point for Modern Warfare 2 not having a multiplayer. It means that Activision aren't going to make any money from their loot crates of that. So, yeah, it's also a bit odd. And there's just a lot of things that don't make sense with it from marketing point of views. And, yeah, you get the idea where I'm going there. Anyway, I think that's enough of Modern Warfare 2 Remastered. I think we've gone where we need to go there. So what I'm going to say to end that bit off is that yes, I think Modern Warfare 2 Remastered is coming out. It may come out in the summer, or I think it's going to come out a month or so before the release of Black Ops 4. Yes, it was probably going to have a campaign all along, and I still believe it will, because it wouldn't make any sense if it didn't. And yes, I believe it will have the multiplayer and the Spec Ops in it as well. I believe it will be the Modern Warfare 2 that we used to know, remastered, even better, even cooler than before, with a couple of extra things added to it. I believe that's what's going to happen. I've gone through all of my evidence for it that I can anyway, from my point of view especially as well. And yeah, that's all I can really give for Modern Warfare 2 Remastered. We might find out a little bit more soon, especially from the Black Ops 4 reveal date, which I'm going to get onto in a minute. But you know, basically, you just wait. Honestly, just wait. Everyone, seriously, I will stress this more at the end, but just wait, for the love of God, please, until the actual devs, the actual people that are making the game, give you the information. Wait until Bionox or Activision or Treyarch, anyone from those freaking companies shows you a tweet from them, a freaking, I don't know, an announcement, a trailer, anything. Wait till they announce it, because they're the accurate ones. They're the ones that are selling you the product. They will tell you what is going to come and what is going to be with what. Just wait for them. Don't believe all the random different, source of information. Fine, look at the sources of information and go, yeah, alright, cool. Take it as something that's interesting to look at and have as information and could be a possibility. But for the love of God, don't believe it as a definite. You can't. It's not always accurate. And we even had this thing recently with like this supposed other guy who was like leaking loads of information for Black Ops 4 and so on, and then eventually came out and said that pretty much half of his stuff was a load of bollocks. Like, he's basically just lied to the whole community about most of his information that he supposedly got as a leak, and then he wanted to put it into a document or something like that, saying what was fake and what was real. Right, I hate to sort of tell it to him bluntly, but after you just come out and admit that half of your stuff is fake, even if you put it in a document and say what is right and what is wrong and what is true or not, everyone, including like me and that, is basically just going to look at that and go, how do I know you've been telling the truth anymore? You've just admitted that you basically just bullshitted to the whole community. Why should we even believe you? Not only that, it's also, in my opinion, hurt his reputation now for the future when it comes to leaking stuff. It's basically just screwed him over for the whole entire life now when it comes to leaking information, because nobody's going to fully believe him anymore after doing this, and it's a shame. And supposedly he was a really big leaker and that back in the day, and had some really good connections, and I don't doubt that he has connections in the community in some shape or form, in the industry itself. I don't doubt that at all. Not for a second. I'm sure he does. But he shouldn't have lied. It's plain and simple. There was no good reason for him to lie. And he did. And now he's basically just made it so that nobody wants to trust him anymore. And nobody will trust him. He shouldn't have lied. I don't know why he chose to, but it was stupid. It was really, really stupid. And it's a shame. It's a real shame. But there you go. Anyhow, I think that's the whole of my look in regards to that. But that brings me on to the rest of Black Ops 4 and its supposed leaks. Now, I've got to talk about this. I've got to, because it's vital. It is absolutely vital to talk about Black Ops 4's leaks because they are all over the place. Now, I can't tell you how all over the place it really is. I've never actually seen, I don't think, a Call of Duty game have so many ridiculously over-the-top leaks before in my life. It's not even been announced properly yet. And everyone is just going through all this crazy stuff in regards to it. It's insane. It's absolutely insane. Like, we haven't even got to the bloody community reveal event yet. And everyone's leaking all of this. It's absolutely mental. It actually astonishes me that people are doing this. It really does. Anyway, I guess I'm going to go for it anyhow, so let's do it. Alright, I want to start off with the whole campaign thing for Black Ops 4. Okay, look, now everyone's going on about the fact that the campaign was cancelled and it's gone and blah 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 blah. There's all these other things that are apparently a load of bollocks about time travel and stuff like that, but oh god, who even knows at this point? I don't even know what to believe anymore. But anyway, yes, Charlie Intel said, and I'm using Charlie Intel here because I know that they actually have accurate sources, said that the campaign had been cancelled for Black Ops 4. Alright, fine. That doesn't mean that it's cancelled fully forever. Now, what I believe has happened here, and this is basically what happened with Black Ops 3, is that yes, the campaign may have been canned at one point in development stage. Like, they may have presented an idea to Activision went, yeah, okay, the community won't like that, don't use it, just scrap it. And, you know, they probably did scrap it, or they took elements of that and instead made a new campaign out of it. I highly doubt, I could be wrong, and if I am, then this will amaze the hell out of me, but I highly doubt that Black Ops 4 is going to release without a campaign. Number one, this studio's had 3 years, not entirely the whole of the third year yet, I might add, to develop this game. Also, I like to add in, and I'm going to go through this a little bit later on, that the studio has been releasing things for Black Ops 3. Big random events and things which involve making guns and that for Black Ops 3 and so on. During this time period when making this game, I somehow don't think that, number one, they ran out of time when making this campaign, and number two, would be wasting their time and resources into doing stuff for an old game of theirs like Black Ops 3 when they should be concentrating on Black Ops 4. It makes no sense. It really doesn't. At all. It's just ridiculous. No studio, especially someone as big as Treyarch, would make the mistake of making a campaign that nobody likes on Black Ops 4, for example, and then going, yeah, we should really fix this, but you know what, let's go and release some content for our old game, because why not? It's not like we're on the clock trying to make this thing. It's fine, whatever, just dump it, forget about it. No, I'm sorry, no. A big studio like Treyarch and that, no, it wouldn't happen. It makes absolutely no sense from any point of view for them to do that at all. They weren't even asked to make this stuff for Black Ops 3 during this time. They're doing it out of goodwill and out of the fact that they have time to do it. They have time to add this stuff into Black Ops 3. If they were up against the clock and they hadn't made a campaign for Black Ops 4 and that, they wouldn't be updating Black Ops 3 with all of its extra content. I can promise you that. They wouldn't, because it just doesn't make any sense. They would want to concentrate all their resources into their new game. Why? Because the new game is the game that they're trying to sell. It's the one that's going to make the money now. You know, Black Ops 3 is old. And yeah, cool, adding extra content in will get you a little bit of cash here and there. But, you know, it's not going to make nearly as much as when you sell your next game. Because your next game is going to have, like, the full game coming out, then the season pass, then the loot crates, and all this other stuff. And, you know, you want to put all your resources and time and effort into that new game because that is where your money is going to come from, and that's what you need to concentrate on doing. So, yeah, like, you don't want to make a mistake there, which is why, you know, I don't believe this whole thing about the campaign not being in Black Ops 4. Yes, it may have been cancelled at one point. However, I think it has been rebuilt into a different way. Like I said earlier, Black Ops 3's campaign had a similar aspect, I believe, where its campaign was semi-scrapped and then rebuilt in a different way. And yes, I know that Black Ops 3's campaign most certainly didn't turn out very great as a result of doing that. But, you know, I still don't think that Black Ops 4's campaign has just been completely removed. I don't see that being the case. I feel like it's been rebuilt with some of the assets and things that have been used in the past. I feel like that's the case, and I expect that is the case. And yeah, well, I say that with Black Ops 4, it will have a campaign of some kind. It will definitely have one. It would make no sense for them to release Black Ops 4 without a campaign. It just wouldn't. And that's my state of fact here. Anyhow, obviously, the community event on May the 17th will show us whether they do have some form of campaign in the game or not. I personally believe they will, but hell, if it shows up that they don't, then I'll be absolutely amazed. But I personally feel that they will. So there you go. So that's the campaign out of the way. I want to quickly touch on this Battle Royale mode. Look, I don't have any doubt that the fact that, sure, Activision are probably looking around, and I'm sure the other studios like Treyarch and Infinity Ward and that are looking around at the fact that, you know, Fortnite and that are doing great with their whole Battle Royale modes, and it's become a big thing, and don't get me wrong, I noticed that. And I'm sure that they'll want to implement some form of Battle Royale mode into their game, of course. This rumour though about the fact that Raven Software are supposedly developing a Battle Royale mode to go alongside with Treyarch's game. Okay, look, I would probably believe this a little bit more if I didn't know that supposedly Modern Warfare 2 Remastered, Black Ops 4, you know, are coming out this year. But it's more the fact that, right, and get this in perspective. If you had the Battle Royale mode as well, you've got Black Ops 4, Modern Warfare 2, Battle Royale mode from Raven Software, and the rest of World War II's DLC season releasing in 1 year, all in one go. And there was even talks at one point about a World at War remaster possibly coming along, in which case that'd be 5 things all releasing in one go. That's a lot. That's a hell of a lot. And also I'd like to add that Activision will want to put as much effort in as they can to making sure Black Ops 4 is the one that sells. They want Black Ops 4 to be the one that succeeds. And yeah, I can see why it just won't sort of add up if all these things released in the same year. Now, I can understand if Raven were to release a Battle Royale mode with the multiplayer that Treyarch have already made for Black Ops 4 and implement them together inside Black Ops 4. And they'd have, for example, like with previous Call of Duties in the past, they've had the League area as well as the normal multiplayer area, right? Now, I can understand them doing something like that, where they have, I don't know, League, normal multiplayer, and then a Battle Royale area of the multiplayer. You know, if they put all that together and Raven worked exclusively on the Battle Royale mode for Black Ops 4 with Treyarch, you know, that would make sense, and I could understand that. And then, for example, in the DLC season, we could be seeing some extra stuff for Battle Royale as well as the normal multiplayer and zombies and so on. Yeah, it makes sense. I could understand that happening. However, Battle Royale mode releasing as a separate game, like some people are claiming, I don't know about that. That sounds a little bit iffy. Also, it sounds like a potential risk to Black Ops 4 in general with its sales and that. And I don't know if Activision would even remotely consider taking that chance or even want to take that chance. No matter how popular Treyarch games are, I just don't think they would ever want to take that chance. It would be too risky. And I would also feel the same if I was probably in Activision's boots. It would be a risky thing to do. So I can't see it releasing as its own separate game. I could see it releasing, like I said, as part of Black Ops 4 in some shape or form. So release with Black Ops 4 in the game rather than on its own. But yeah, on its own, I don't see that happening. Again, we'll probably find out a bit more at the reveal event on the 17th of May. Possibly a little bit before then, you never know. Yeah, but there you go. That's all I have to say about the Battle Royale mode. It sort of came out of nowhere as well, I might add. I still don't even know if the Battle Royale mode is a completely legitimate amount of information. Some of it sounds legit, some of it sounds a bit iffy, but I don't know. Whatever. I'm going to go with what I've said, and I'm sure that'll be the case. I still have to say, though, that I don't doubt that Activision and the other companies want to try and make their own Battle Royale mode, as Battle Royale is doing very well for itself. So it makes sense for them to do something along those lines. But yeah, that's all I'm going to say for that. So anyway, I want to briefly move on to the multiplayer here, and that is the whole thing about this supposed multiplayer being like Overwatch. Alright. Number one, when was this information taken? This could have been taken from a while ago. Yes, I know that David Vonderhaar made some tweets about the multiplayer needing to be rebuilt and all that. Sure, maybe it needed to be rebuilt in certain areas. I doubt that the whole entire multiplayer needed to be rebuilt. If it did, then it must have been a very serious problem that they had with multiplayer. But I just don't believe that it was the whole thing, because they seem to be doing quite well for themselves right now and have a reasonable amount of time. So again, that would mean that multiplayer should be, you know, in a pretty good state and pretty much built, if they are currently having enough time to go and reveal stuff for it, as well as actually go and, you know, like update Black Ops 3 multiplayer. So yeah, I don't know, I just feel like this is the case, that they have a fair amount of time still. I don't think multiplayer is in a bad situation. I think it's in a pretty good state. I think it's alright. I'll get onto the revealing assets bit in a minute, but yeah, I have to talk about this Overwatch thing first. Right. Now, there's this rumour that went around that apparently that the multiplayer felt like Overwatch. Okay, number one, like, who played this? Maybe some playtesters played the multiplayer like bang on when it was pretty much in such a ridiculous alpha stage that it had loads of elements of its multiplayer missing, which would add up and make a lot of sense. That it may feel like another game, possibly. You know, it might if it's not ready, and it probably wasn't ready at that time, so it would make sense that that's the case. But I don't know. I can't see that Treyarch would go and make a multiplayer that feels like another game, which is also made by Activision. I don't know, it doesn't really add up. Sorry, it doesn't. So I don't trust that at all. I feel like it's wrong, iffy information, It may have been similar, possibly, to Overwatch in its alpha build, but I don't think it really was Overwatch like. And I just don't see Treyarch making their multiplayer even remotely like Overwatch, and it just doesn't make a lot of sense. I also don't think Treyarch would want to change the multiplayer aspect of their game that much, like a real large amount, to make it like Overwatch's multiplayer. They wouldn't want to divert the whole of the Call of Duty multiplayer design just like that. It would make no sense from their point of view. Um, and yeah, it just wouldn't be Call of Duty then, would it? So I don't believe that. As for obviously the whole idea of it not being ready in that, I really, really don't believe that anymore. In particular, the fact that Treyarch are obviously releasing stuff for Black Ops 3, but also the fact that they made a whole map for Black Ops 3 too. And, you know, that takes a fair amount of time. Yes, it is a map that already exists, but they have done quite a lot to redesign it. And that would have taken time. It would have taken away, development time from Black Ops 4 to do that. So, obviously, they don't need that time for Black Ops 4, which means that the multiplayer must be doing just fine. And then you've obviously got to look at the fact that, they've just released some actual images of Black Ops 4's multiplayer with the little logos of basically your perks that you can get in the multiplayer and that, which basically confirms that it's nothing like Overwatch at all. It confirms that it's like normal Call of Duty. Also, from what we saw at these little perk logos and that for the multiplayer, it looks like it's set in modern day time or possibly World War time. I'm going to go with modern time, and it just seems like something that I'm sure Treyarch will want to do. It could possibly be World War II time or whatever, but yeah, I don't know about that. Yeah, we'll have to see. Anyhow, seeing all this sort of stuff and that from Treyarch themselves, and I'd like to add here, this is from the devs themselves, not from some random source that these logos have come from. It confirms to me that the multiplayer is on track and it's doing just fine. It also confirms that Treyarch are not behind on schedule and are doing just fine. So, yeah, I think all this stuff about the multiplayer at this point pretty much is either old news, like really old, or fake. And honestly, from basically seeing a tweet like that from Treyarch and a bit more confirmation, it's effectively Treyarch here saying that all the leaks are just a load of bollocks. It literally is what Treyarch have basically just done there. They didn't have to reveal this stuff before the reveal event. They didn't have to do it at all. But they have. So, there you go. I think it confirms pretty much everything you need to hear in regards to the multiplayer. That's the way I look at it. I think the multiplayer's on track. Okay, and that really sums up the whole of the multiplayer aspect for now. Obviously, we'll see more at the community event on the 17th of May. And yeah, that moves me on to the very last point, and that is zombies. Okay, number one, nothing, and I really want to get this across here, nothing has been revealed for zombies for Black Ops 4 yet from the actual development team. That is the same for the campaign earlier. If I didn't actually say that, I meant to. Nothing's come from the development team at Treyarch or even Activision about zombies. Nothing. Therefore, you should not even remotely be believing the leaks from people about zombies. Also, zombies is always the thing that is pretty much play tested just before release. People go and play that sort of thing pretty much just before the release of the game. They would not be playing it now or earlier in the year at all. It just wouldn't happen. So all this information about not modern, what am I on about? Mob of the Dead Remastered being in the game, and you play as the transit crew in Dr. Monty's perfect world, and you're saving the Origins crew and the Ultimus crew, and the London map being around and stuff like that. Okay, look, number one, these things have been talked about in the community of zombies since basically what the comic book series came out, and also the London map regards like the Horizon and also Moon. Like all these things were talked about ages ago. It feels like somebody's just sat down and basically gone, yeah, I'm sure this is probably the idea of the story that I could think of just off the top of my head, and it would probably make sense, and I'm sure the zombie community would believe it. Of course, I mean, everything that they've said there sounds realistic. It does. But is it confirmed? Is it true? No. I don't know if it's true or not. Probably not. But is it confirmed? No. There's nothing that's been revealed for zombies. Therefore, there is no information to go off of for zombies. The most you could possibly look at, and this is a fair enough assumption, is the one tiny reveal that we had for Black Ops 4, which was looking at all these past different trailers and that of the Black Ops series and even World at War, and putting them into that one Black Ops 4 logo and that as a little trailer. You saw Mob of the Dead in that. Now, to me, and pretty much most other zombie fans, the fact that they put Mob of the Dead in that was a clear sign to me, and probably to others, that that's them teasing the fact that Mob of the Dead is coming back in Black Ops 4. And I don't doubt that. I definitely believe that Black Ops 4 will have Mob of the Dead, either on disc or as a bonus DLC at some point down the line. And yes, people can argue that in that little trailer there was a picture of a zombie in Verrückt walking along. Again, I feel like the reason they're doing this is to show that Zombie Chronicles was released at some point and that it did very well, and it's almost like them saying thank you in that, as well as showing off just a bit of Zombie Chronicles anyway, because it's a trailer going through the whole of the Black Ops series effectively, and it makes sense for that sort of thing to be in there. But that's what I feel we have at the moment for zombies, is a Mob of the Dead sort of mini clip, kind of them telling us that Mob of the Dead will come back. I believe it's going to come back. It would make absolutely no sense, really, for Mob of the Dead not to come back. It is, and probably will be, the most loved map in the whole of zombies. I mean, there might be other maps in the future that will do better than Mob of the Dead, possibly. At the moment, unless you're an Origins fan in particular, I mean, I love Origins. It's my second most loved map. However, Mob of the Dead is still my most loved. Those two maps are always going to be the pinnacle, pretty much, of zombies at this time. And yeah, of course, there could be maps in the future, maybe even with Black Ops 4, that beat Mob of the Dead and Origins in general and make them good, but not as good as the new map. However, I don't think that's coming anytime soon. Treyarch know how much they want the community to be happy. They also know that the community really wants Mob of the Dead remastered. They know this so well. Therefore, it will make so much sense for them to remaster it. And that's why I feel like they're going to do it. It would be silly for them not to. So yeah, that's all I can say in regards to zombies at the moment. There may be a London map as well, but none of that's been confirmed. So until you actually hear from a dev that is confirmed, you should not believe it. And like I've been saying throughout the whole video, we will find out, possibly in regards to zombies, maybe later for zombies, on the 17th of May or at E3, or later on, what is coming out for zombies. We will find out if Mob of the Dead is in it or something else, you know? We'll find out these things. And you're probably wondering, you're repeating yourself all the time about the 17th of May reveal date. Yeah, I'm doing it on purpose. I'm doing it because every time I'm saying that, I'm trying to get it into your heads that you should wait until the reveal date of Black Ops 4 to see what is legit and what isn't legit. You should not just be taking all this information that a lot of people are and believing it from all these different sources at the moment. I don't doubt that some of these sources are legit. Like I said, Charlie Intel is a very, very reliable source when it comes to Call of Duty in general. However, their sources that they may have got the information on for some of this stuff may be old information, and I feel like you should take that properly as a fact, probably, that a lot of that stuff that they have got recently is information that is old now, but at the time that they may have got it or something like that, it was new. Okay? Look, I know a lot of people are pretty all over the place at the moment in regards to Modern Warfare 2 Remastered, Battle Royale, and also Black Ops 4. And I know that there's a lot of like sort of anxious anxiety and concern in the community for Black Ops 4 in particular, but also Modern Warfare 2 Remastered. Look, take everything that I've taken in this, talked to you about in this video, and just take it as this. Just this, if this is the only message that gets into your head here. Wait until the reveal of Black Ops 4 on the 17th of May when you get a trailer, probably, and all sorts of other things, confirmation from Treyarch, the team behind Black Ops 4, and also Activision, who are in charge of Call of Duty as a whole. Wait till you get confirmation from them on that precise date. Once you get that, then you will know what was right and what is just a load of bollocks. You will know what is true in the community's, information that they managed to get and what isn't true. For all we know, every single bit of information might be fake at this point, other than the fact that obviously Modern Warfare 2 Remastered is coming and Black Ops 4 is coming. But everything else could be a load of bollocks and not true at all. Just wait. Please, wait. All these people that are constantly going on about these things. Alright, look, it's awesome that they're doing that, and I appreciate the fact that a lot of these other YouTubers and that are actually going out of their way to go and find out about this information. Don't get me wrong, I'm glad that they go out and find this information. However, I don't know if it's been very good at the moment for this year's leaked information. In the past, it's been a lot more positive, especially with like the Zombie Chronicles leaks and stuff like that. It's been positive stuff. However, this year, the leaked information is just really, really negative in lots of bad ways. And I just can't see that all of this leaked information being so negative isn't somebody or loads of different people trying to get back at Treyarch or Activision or even Beanox or someone, I don't know, just trying to get back at them in general or trying to hurt Call of Duty as a brand. It's just so much negative information to just hear before the games have even been revealed yet. They haven't been revealed. They haven't even been shown. And yet all this really negative information is just flying all over the place. Okay, I think we'll leave that rant there. But like I said, just wait until the reveal date of May the 17th. You will have the information that you need. You will know what's legit and what isn't legit. And then we can all rest in peace. But I'm tired of all this constant information flying around the place at the moment. Everyone in the community being upset all over the place, anxious, and just everything. And in particular, I'm tired of the fact that some, in particular, this person, whatever his name was again, goes out and freaking well mentions all this like, information about supposed leaks and then comes out and says that basically all of it is a load of shit. It's a load of bollocks. That pisses me off a lot. That is really not on, okay? It's not. It's not on at all. It's actually ridiculous, the fact that he would even do that. And that is just not only disheartening to the devs at Treyarch and also Activision and also BNOT that they're making Modern Warfare 2 Remastered, but it's also, disheartening to the fans, the people that are waiting patiently and want these games and that. It's disheartening. It's just soul destroying hearing these sort of things, and it's ridiculous. Like, why would you even want to do that? It's just not okay at all. And honestly, if you're not ashamed at the fact that you've done that, then you should be, because it's wrong. It's very wrong. And I hope that you've learned a lesson from it and you don't do it again, because that is just not on at all. It really isn't. And it just pisses me off. I'll be amazed if there aren't other people that are really pissed off from that as well. Also, the fact that you said that to other YouTubers who have then leaked that information, then as a result you come out and say it's a load of bollocks, it makes the YouTubers look like they've got a fake source, or that the stuff that they're saying is just complete bollocks, and then it makes them look bad. That's just making other YouTubers who are actually trying to be kind and nice to the community and try and help everyone out look bad. And it's not right. It's not right at all. A lot of these YouTubers as well obviously do this because, it's their living. And you're basically killing their living. And it's wrong. It's very wrong. And I can't believe that it's even managed to get to this point. I mean, I was all a bit iffy and stuff about Zombie Chronicles, like all the leaks that are going on for that. I mean, I wasn't iffy as in I didn't believe it. I did believe it. It's more the fact that it was just really... there was too much of it being leaked. It felt like it was trying to be a surprise from Treyarch to everyone. It's like Treyarch basically saying, we hope you enjoy this, zombie fans, and, you've been great to us, and, well, we want to give you something back, and we want to make it a surprise. But everyone leaked it. Everyone. They just went through everything and leaked it. And then it's awesome that it's coming and that, but it destroyed the surprise. It destroyed every part of the surprise and the feel that this would just come out of nowhere and be like, oh, geez, there's a 5th DLC pack. And it's remastered zombie maps. That's freaking awesome. It didn't feel like something that was a surprise because everyone's going on about it. And yes, you can say that you don't have to watch these videos and that. You're fine. You don't have to watch them at all. You could not even watch them if you wanted to, and this would pop up somewhere else. It will pop up anywhere practically. There's even tweets all over the place about these sort of things, and they just pop up out of nowhere. You can't avoid these things anymore, really, and it's annoying. But it was upsetting, in my opinion, that happened with Zombie Chronicles. I mean, it's still a brilliant Zombies DLC, don't get me wrong, it's the greatest Zombies DLC of all time, in my view. But it was just not quite as... as a result of that. And it's a shame. And I really don't want it to be the same again for Black Ops 4 and stuff, but it already is. I mean, look at this. Look at it. It's already happening, and the freaking game hasn't even been revealed. It's just concerning what really is coming out of the place at the moment. Well, anyway, I think we're going to leave it here. If there's any more news and information that is true, then I will let you know about it. Of course, if you guys want to look at the review event, then feel free to. I will be going over it when the review event happens on the 17th of May here on the channel. I'll be going through all the stuff, so if we see Modern Warfare 2 Remastered during that, which we might, you never know, I'll be going over that and showing it on the channel and talking about it and stuff. And then the same with Black Ops 4, I'll be doing exactly the same with that. So, you know, all that stuff that is actually legit on the 17th of May reveal event, I will happily, you know, talk about and just go over in general. And, you know, it will be legit information. You know it will be. I know it will be. Because it's coming from the devs. So, yeah. And hopefully, you know, everything will be a bit more positive then. I have to say that I'm glad that Treyarch decided to actually release some like images of the multiplayer, even though they didn't have to. I'm glad they did, because it kind of, I don't know, I feel like it's given a bit more hope to the whole of the community now with the fact that they've done that, and it's put a lot of people on ease, I think, and it's good that they did that. So good on them, and they didn't even have to do that. So yeah, good on them for that, and I appreciate them doing it, quite frankly. I really do. So thank you, Treyarch, for that. I appreciate it, and I hope you guys understand that the community are supporting you. All you developers in general are being supported by the community, and we hope that the leaks and things are not hurting you too much. But anyhow, we'll leave it there. So I'll see the rest of you guys, all of you probably, that tune in onto the channel anyway, for the community reveal event during the 17th of May. And until then, really, I hope you guys enjoy whatever you're playing. And yeah, well, I will see you then, guys. So just take what you hear as a grain of salt. See you then, guys.